Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is April 4th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. Probably the first thing that catches your attention is this deep low out over the Gulf of Alaska with this frontal system draped all the way back down towards the Hawaiian Islands here. This frontal system is going to be coming in as we go on in through Sunday. We'll take a look at that. But in the meantime, we have a warm day coming up today and tomorrow, and we'll take a look at that as well. We'll take a look at the extended forecast as we go through the video this morning. Also, visible satellite imagery, you can see there is Mount Rainier. You got Mount Adams, Mount St. Helens. Look at Mount Hood. You can see the Cascades of Oregon. Nice and sunny across much of the region. Some high-level clouds moving across the area. You can see Mount Baker and the snow-covered mountains across British Columbia as well. So get out there and enjoy these couple of days because we have a fairly active weather week coming up next week. But we will have some breaks in between some of these systems also. We'll take a look at that. So this is a nice weather station here. It's very affordable and I highly recommend it. It's got a great smartphone app. You put your station, you hook it up, and it broadcasts online and it stores all the data for you in the cloud. You can check it wherever you go. It makes it much more fun to watch the weather when you have one of these attached to your place of residence. And take a look at things right now. Again, not too active right now, but it's kind of a chilly morning out there. There was actually some frost advisories up. It looks like Olympia was a little bit foggy there, but otherwise, a lot of sunshine here, and we are going to warm up today. Taking a look at right now, this is apparent temperature. Kind of a wider look at things here, and you can see Seattle and some of Western Oregon. Going to get a chilly start here, but we will be warming up as we go through the day today. This is actually a little bit closer view of that same map here as well. If I update that, you can see we are warming up fairly quickly here this morning. So get out there and enjoy that sunshine. Now, lightning strike density here, a little bit over Idaho, nothing over Washington, Oregon, or British Columbia. There yesterday looks like there was a lightning strike just off to the east of Washington, Oregon there, and maybe some lightning strikes down across some of Treasure Valley there. Now, also, I want to call attention to this as we go through the later portion of the week, and we are going to have some wave action returning to the coastline. It's going to remain elevated next week, so just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Even though Saturday is going to kind of be pretty benign on the coastal areas, we are going to have some waves returning next week. And just a heads up, if you want to sign up for the spring weather spotter training, you can go to weather.gov/Spokane, and they do it on April 14th, 23rd, and 29th. Again, these are virtual classes, free and open to all. Highly recommended that you attend these. Very fun stuff. And if you want to help support the page, the Patreon channel, there is a link in here as well for that to go on in towards the current spotter and observer training. Again, if you click on that right there, it'll take you right to it. Now, this is looking at the Northern Pacific Ocean. So as you can see in the meantime here, as we go through today and tomorrow, again, very, lackluster wave action here for the Pacific Northwest. Not much to speak of at all, but you can clearly see that it is still April here, and we've got some storm systems out here that are going to really increase the wave action as we go through the day Sunday and on through Monday. So if you're out there Saturday and Sunday is definitely going to be a bit different as far as wave action is concerned, and we're going to keep those elevated waves as we go on into portions of next week. And you see the storm systems continuing to churn out here across the Gulf of Alaska, coming back into the Pacific Northwest. So it's not summertime just yet, and Mother Nature is going to remind us of that as we go through next week. And if we take a look at the upper levels of the atmosphere at about 500 millibars, 18,000 feet, you can see our ridge kind of snuggled in between the trough across the southwest and across the Gulf of Alaska, out in the Pacific Ocean. And you can see it hangs on through the day Saturday, but then as we go through Sunday, we might start off dry, but that frontal system, a fairly modest one, is going to come in here and start to bring some precipitation on the day Sunday. And then we have a more robust system, that one right there on Tuesday coming in. And then we try to build a ridge for a little bit as we go towards the end of the week, but there's going to be another system out here, and we'll see what that one is going to do. We'll watch that as we go over the next few days. But if we take a look at what is to come, you can see the frontal system off the coastline, slow moving. And as we go through it, this is about this afternoon here today on Friday, April 4th. Here we go on in through Saturday morning, and then we go on into the day Saturday. Another pretty warm day on Saturday across much of the area, but the clouds are going to start to encroach as we go through the day Saturday. And then you see the frontal system start to bring its precipitation as we go through the day Sunday, hoping it would hold off a little bit more. But there's Sunday afternoon. It starts to bring some light precip towards Seattle, Portland, and Southwest Southwest BC by that point. But on Sunday, also point this out, east of the Cascades, we are pretty warm on the day Sunday. So another nice day east of the Cascades as compared to west, where the precipitation is starting on the day Sunday. So that system is swinging through. You can see it bringing rainfall all the way into the inland areas. And then we got the next frontal system as we go through the day Tuesday, low pressure system, a fairly modest one again, but a little bit better of a punch it looks like as we go through the day on Tuesday. Bit of a break on Wednesday, but then another system is out here lurking. Actually, the GFS and the European disagree with what's going to happen on Wednesday. GFS keeps some precipitation going. We'll break that system down over the next few days, so don't worry about that. We'll be on top of that. We'll check it out again tomorrow. Here's total snow-to-chair ratio in inches. So, of course, we got nothing going on today and tomorrow and Sunday, just for the highest peaks, generally speaking. And then we go on into Monday, Tuesday. We do start to bring a little bit more snowfall to the higher terrain as we go through the midweek period. So, thumbs up for that. Again, the snow levels aren't going to be, that low. You can see Snoqualmie is only picking up 2 inches. A little bit better for Stevens, which is about 1,000 feet higher than Snoqualmie Pass. Snoqualmie checks in at 3,000. Stevens is right around 4,000. So, looking at lightning flash density potential, what I want to point out here is this is a Sunday afternoon. We go on in through Monday, and you can see how we do destabilize here on the day Monday. So we'll watch for some thunderstorm potential here as we go on into the early portion of next week. There's Tuesday again, maybe some additional strikes there, and we'll continue to watch that as we go as well. So some active weather incoming. Here's a North American model. So again, today and Saturday, mainly dry. As we go on to Sunday morning, you see finally this precipitation. It's still kind of taking its time, but as we go through the late morning hours, we start to move some of this into western Oregon, western Washington, and that kind of takes over and starts to bring some more widespread precipitation again, mainly Cascades west on the day Sunday. Looking at wind speeds just off the surface, about 2,500 feet. Got some offshore flow going on today. Might get a little bit breezy there through the gorge and maybe Stampede Gap. You might notice that if you're out hiking across some of the higher terrain. Watch out for those east winds, and that goes all the way on in through tonight. You can kind of see the Stampede Gap is right there. There's the gorge. The Washington-Oregon border is actually a sea level gap that goes from eastern Oregon, eastern Washington, out in towards southwest Washington and western Oregon. So then we bring the frontal system in. Things start to turn southerly out ahead of that. Just very, modestly gusty winds into the 30s with that first frontal system there. And then the next system out there might pack a little bit more of a punch. You could see a gust up towards 50 miles per hour for some of the coastal areas on the day Tuesday. A little bit breezy inland here. Not a major windstorm or anything, but it's definitely a change from the nice weather we are currently getting. And then you see the European wants to bring another storm system up towards Vancouver Island as we go through the end of the week. Now, accumulated 10-meter max wind gusts. So as we go through the day Sunday, you'll see those wind gusts here. I mean, you're talking about maybe lower 30s, even in the coastal areas. It's not a big deal. But then the next system comes in there, and that's a little bit better. Some gusts showing up over 50 for some of the northwest interior. You can see the coastal areas maybe getting up over 50 straight to Georgia, maybe the Vancouver Island coastline there, and then we'll see what's to come after that. European artificial intelligence. So let's take a look here, and you can see on Sunday the precipitation starts. Additional systems kind of rolling in here as we go through Tuesday. Break Wednesday at some point, and then we bring another system in there on Thursday afternoon, evening, and then we start to swing that through, and then we'll see what happens after that. But you can see we do look to remain a little bit active here. It's been trending upwards on our extended forecast here. So those of you hoping for some warmer, extended spring weather might have to wait a little bit longer. Taking a look here at the 15-day precipitation anomaly, and you can kind of see above average for this time of year over the next 2 weeks, but we'll break that down daily. It's 6 to 10 day temperature outlook all the way through April 13th. There's the 6 to 10 day kind of mixed bag there across Pacific Northwest is what's been showing the last couple of days. 8 to 14 day April 17th, and then you see the above average signal across Washington, Idaho, and some portions of Montana. This was something that was issued a few days ago, monthly temperature outlook for the month of April. So they did put out that they thought it was equal chances here across the Pacific Northwest. See the above average for the Southwest. There's the monthly precipitation outlook below normal Southwest, but mixed, kind of equal chances here. Not mixed, but equal chances as far as April is concerned. And this is the new drought monitor. Very little changes here. I mean, they took away some of the extreme drought across Wyoming, but I didn't see any changes here across really any western Montana, Idaho, or Washington locations. Oregon does remain drought and abnormally dry free. Nice to see it. We are still running that deficit here across some of the Cascades of Washington. That's why there is some of that moderate drought. And drought is not something like, hey, the world is coming to an end, or you're looking at severe water restriction. Drought is a normal process of the climate. So when you see these things showing up here, it doesn't mean that all is lost or anything, or that animals are dying, or there's cracks appearing in the ground or anything like that. Drought is just a normal process of the climate here, and this will wane and ebb and flow and no doubt be taken away. It's just it takes into a lot of things into account. It's just not how much precipitation falls. It matters snow versus rain, for example, as well, and they take into account things like wells and groundwater and stream flow and all kinds of stuff there. So check out the U.S. Drought Monitor. You can Google that if you want to learn more. And precipitation departure from average since January 1st. You can see there is a pretty good deficit here for some of western Washington. Virtually all of it is actually fairly substantially below normal precipitation. I know it's hard to believe that. Even in our driest winters here, it seems pretty gray and dreary here across the Pacific Northwest, but you can clearly see that deficit they are running. And then you see Oregon actually, for the state total, it's been above average here, and including eastern and some of the southwest Oregon as well. And average temperature departure from average, kind of a mixed bag here, but generally overall speaking on the cooler side of things since January 1st. A little bit of a La Nina signature showing there. But anyway, I'll wrap this video up now. We'll continue to watch what comes next week. Look like we're going to remain active. You can see the storm system. That's the frontal system coming on Sunday. But enjoy the couple nice days. In the meantime, click like and subscribe. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.